Watch it. You like that? This is gonna happen. It's gonna come. That vibe is gonna.
Is that the next tune? Is it?
There's something happening there, isn't it?
Huh?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode number 6 of the WrightHereShow. Today's guest we have Mr. Vibe himself, the Wizard King. We got F.O.B.
Air horn, I love it.
Now we get to try it out.
Thanks. There we go.
What's the story, big guy? How are you?
I'm all good, man. All good, you know.
Yeah.
You know, as you said, vibing.
Vibing. That is the trick. So, what have you been up to? Lockdown. You're the music man.
Lockdown.
You're working with. I don't know how many artists have you worked with so far, off the top of the head.
Oh God, I'd have to have a look. Yeah, I'd say Jesus, nearly 100 now. You know,
100 artists.
Yeah.
What is the most extreme situation you've been put in to record? Because I know like people have had to come from the other side of the country to come over. Remember one particular girl?
Yeah. She came from where'd she come from? Mayo or Galway?
Yeah,
all in the one day, like round trip.
That's fucking great. That's a long last day, that.
Yeah, Heather. She came down and recorded, and we got up really early. She got the first train down. And we recorded 3 songs that day.
Yeah.
And that was our EP.
Done.
And then done. Yeah. Mixed them over the next few days. And then she released it a few weeks later. It was just like a whirlwind, you know?
Yeah.
It was like a whirlwind thing.
Was that her first EP?
That was our first, first time ever.
I know you showed me a sample in the studio that time.
That was our first time ever recording.
And she sounded great, like.
She sounded unreal.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of the prep was kind of done on one of the songs, so we started with that, and then we actually wrote and recorded 2 of them that day. So that was like, it wasn't extreme, but it was like mad. Just
time pressure.
But I think there was a bit of a time pressure because she had to catch a train at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But I think we just we had a goal, to get these 3 songs done. She wanted to get 3 done, and I think we were just vibing. We were both in a creative space.
Yeah.
So that worked. You know what I mean?
But she was there. She would have.
And she's crazy singer, unreal. And she's really good songwriter as well. So, that kind of makes it easy. You know.
Yeah.
But So that's
deadly.
That's basically what I do. You know.
Yeah.
You
worked with me.
I work with Joe.
So if anyone, F.O.B. is the music producer that has produced all of my music, all of the tracks. Ocean, Summer in the City, Little China Doll, the free, Feel Free, Feel Good Movement EP.
Yeah.
Latest Happy, which is
Happy. That's one of my favorites. Like that,
Yeah.
we did a song Happy. We did it in the studio one day, and it was like I just on the piano.
Yeah.
And it was just you, piano and vocal.
Yeah.
And maybe like a little drum beat going around. And I was like, nah, I don't like that. Like when you left, I was like, I don't like that piano, or the vibe.
To be honest, that day I was just I remember going in and thinking to myself, I think that was going in that day. I remember, I think I said to you at one point, I says, if you think something's not sounding good, say it.
Yeah.
Just right. And I think that was the point where it's like I have full faith in what you're doing.
Yeah.
So I'm like, if you tell me it's shit, it'll be shit. No problem. We'll scrap and we'll start again.
And I think that's one thing. Like from especially working with you, like I got a lot of confidence in that area of telling, having a conversation with people about how to improve things as before. Like with anything, when you're starting, you're kind of afraid to put your opinion in there or kind of go,
you don't want to hurt people's feelings. There's feelings involved. All that
yeah,
sort of jazz.
Exactly. Or you kind of have to put it in a certain way where you're like, maybe we'll try this. Or that. But I knew there was something there with that song, just with the lyrics and the vocal melody. Yeah. I was just like, right, I'll take away what I've done on the backing track and like go with, you know, try vibe out just to your vocal.
Yeah.
Which is a mad way to work, because like I make beats as well. And when I'm making a beat, I'm always kind of thinking of what vocal will go over it. So to actually have the vocal there first, and then make the beat around it, like, it was really cool.
Again, so, I know people. A lot of music producers do that, though, don't they? Like, like where.
Yeah.
I suppose it's another skill that you're trying to improve on, like where you've got the vocal track, you're trying to create a new backing track. Yeah. Like I know a lot of pop singers would do that, where they'd lay the vocal and then there's 4 different strands of that track because different producers have had the shot at
100%,
it.
Yeah.
But like as regards Happy, I remember doing Happy. It was a piano. It was like a pop jolly kind of piano.
Yeah.
And in between that, I think Summer in the City. We recorded Summer in the City and we'd released Summer in the City because that was just a vibe. That's I will talk about that in a second. But I remember I was going for a shower. This is about 3 months after we'd fucking recorded.
Yeah, but that's the thing.
4 months, and I was going for a shower and I just checked my drive or something. He sent Happy on there, so I checked my drive and I stuck it on. I was like, this fucking salt! Oh, I love it. It was the most R&B 90s track.
Wasn't it?
I got the
wasn't it? Yeah.
I never thought I'd be able to get on a track like that. Like that was like
because did we do
Luther Vandross sort of vibe? I was like, fuck, Keisha fucking Maine and all these.
Yeah. But just the way your voice was, it just suited that so much. Like if you haven't listened to it, go listen to Happy. It's just unreal, and I love the structure of it as well.
Yeah,
the backing vocals in it.
Yeah,
the way they like keep layering. Like you think it's gonna go to another section, and there's just another layer. You're like, oh, it gets you right in the feels though as well.
It goes straight up again, yeah.
But I actually absolutely love that song, and I love another song that's not released yet. You know.
Oh, that thing.
But Summer in the City.
I love that song. That worked. The best way of saying that worked well with my gay friends.
Yeah.
Like my friends who are gay love that track.
Yeah.
Like they anyone like.
I think it was like, you know, it was something you could just groove to on the dance floor, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was just a fucking bop.
It was just an absolute vibe, and I think that day in the studio when we were both on a vibe. We were just vibing, and I think that came through in the music, didn't it?
That day was.
Yeah,
that was probably one of the better days. Like,
but I mean, that's when you started like. The first EP you done, the Feel Good Movement. Yeah, you had them songs already written. You for years, weren't you? Like Ocean
was written about 2 years before that.
Yeah.
Like so, I remember.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like just for context, like Joe hit me up there. When was it? Start 2019.
To start recording.
Yeah, to start recording.
Oh, that would have been in 2000.
End of 2000, or was
it start 2019? Oh, yeah, because we've released first track in 2019.
Yeah,
it would have been the start of 2019.
Yeah,
and I remember I thought to myself, I don't think I'll ever become a musician. I don't think I'll ever be strong enough to become a musician. Like compared to some of the artists you work with, we'll talk about that. Like music to me was something that I just had to do. I love doing it, and I'd regret it now. If I didn't do it now, I would regret it because I don't think I'd ever get the chance to do it again. Yeah, so I thought. You're doing. I seen what you did with Daz.
Yeah.
You were working with Mikey.
But I knew. Like obviously you were an actor. Yeah. So I knew you kind of had a bit of, you know, a lot of singers become actors. A lot of actors become singers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There is that kind of like the crossover between performing and writing. You know, because you write your own screenplays and stuff. So
yeah,
you were there writing songs. You know, and you've said for years you've been playing guitar and writing songs. So
now some of those songs.
Yeah, and then when I met you and we had a conversation, it was just like you wanted to do this, you know, feel good movement thing. And I remember we got there the first day in the studio, and we were just talking like this for a while. You know, because that's a lot. Like
you're kind of trying to figure each other out as well. Like, I mean, you're not,
you know, creating music with people. It's a very personal thing. Yeah. It's like, I know if I was 20 years old, 18 years old, going into studio with someone I've never met before, or someone I've just met once maybe, I'd be like intimidated, even to just sing in front of them, you know, or like, you know, play guitar in front of them, let alone play them something that you've written that's close to your heart. You know what I mean? You're there pouring your heart in front of someone. But so that's what I just try make people as comfortable as possible, you know.
I remember we had to we recorded basically demos. We recorded a handful of demos.
We recorded like 12 demos
on the first day. Yeah,
on the first day.
And I remember like I remember Stardust was in that first batch.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, Stardust was in that first batch, so it would have been 2019. And I remember thinking this would be good with an electronic vibe, and I thought we just kind of left it alone.
Yeah. And
I was thinking it was the last. I kept the song I thought would be better till like middle to last, and I played Ocean, and you were like, "That's the tune." I
was like, "That's the one. that's the first one we're working on."
And I haven't. That's all I hear from now, like from anyone. Like now, I just said like it's just
Ocean.
And Ocean. And,
that's it. It's catchy as hell. Yeah. Like that chorus is so catchy. But I mean, I think for your first EP, we kind of wanted to keep it not stripped back, but we wanted to keep it like raw. Yeah. You know, acoustic guitar,
strings,
acoustic guitar, acoustic elements like acoustic drums, acoustic guitar, bass, strings, and then vocals. So, which was a nice palette just to open up to
start on. I think that was the best way of doing it for myself as well. Like,
and Ocean really lent itself to that. You know, it was just like proper vibes.
No one expected that to come out of my mouth when that happened. Like literally not.
I remember we were in Gilnes.
The christening.
Oh, the christening. Yeah. And they were all going, "Joe, get up and sing, because the band, they were having a hard time. They weren't playing anything because it was a younger crowd. But we all wanted to get up and sing Ocean.
I remember I was me mate Evan Conley's.
Oh yeah.
His 30th was in Gilnes.
Yeah.
And like it was a big mad fucking night, like it was long night. And everyone halfway through the night, because Evan loves it. Evan was like, "Joe, you go down, play Ocean now." Yeah. I got absolutely ossified by everyone as we did.
Yeah.
Pub closed, little bit of a lock in. Got a lift up to the house, picked up a guitar. Guitar's still down there, snapped in half.
Oh, is it?
David Kelly and Ross Graham fucking snapped every string in that fucking guitar they did. The two pair of shites.
We're coming after you.
Two pair of shites, man. Things and bits in Gilnes somewhere. Yeah. But I remember I got up, and I'll find it. I'll sing it. Like I'll give it a whack. Yeah. Did I remember any lyrics? Not a lyric. You know. I think I sang the second verse 3 times. It was fucking.
I'd say nobody even noticed it.
Jimmy Gillen was playing the cajon.
Oh yeah.
Right, so Jimmy was playing the cajon, so he was matching the beat.
Oh yeah.
And then I went into the faster part in the second one. So he went, and he looked up at me. He hadn't a fucking clue what was going on. It was great. It was so good.
Yeah. Oh.
So when did you start producing music?
I started producing, like, I went, after secondary school, I went to DQIT to study music production.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a weird one because, like a lot of people in 6th year, you're kind of like, what the fuck am I going to do after?
Yeah.
And, like, I was all right in school, I did well, like, but I was like, I don't want... You know, you're looking at all these courses that have certain points to get into. And you're like, I don't actually want to do that. I was big in, like yourself, I was big into football. Soccer, football. And I got accepted to Carlow IT to do football coaching. I think it was a football coaching course where you got to play as well.
Yeah.
And a few of my mates actually did it. But... So, and then I put in DQIT music production because I was into music. I was always into music, but it wasn't until like transition year I started doing music as a subject.
Okay, yeah.
And then I did it for a Leaving Cert. And shout out to my music teacher. He just like, you know, got me well into music. Straight into music. He was so inspirational. Yeah.
This is the one in school? Or is this the one
no, in school. Yeah, in school. Because otherwise I wouldn't have done music.
That seems to be a common thread, that transition year.
Yeah.
Like I never did transition year.
Yeah.
And looking back, I wish I did transition year.
I know, yeah.
There's more perspective after. You have more perspective as like, because don't forget, like you're young.
Yeah. It was a year to kind of just find yourself. And I mean, like, what age are you? Like 16, 17? You know,
like I was what? I would have been 15 maybe.
Yeah.
You know,
so you're at that kind of age where you're like, you know, I started listening to different types of music then. I started like listening to just go back and listen to Oasis and stuff because my older brother was listening to all that sort of, and you know, you want to be cool like that. So you go listen to it and then it kind of just changes your life over a style, you know, it changes how you dress, how you grow out your hair, you know, and then all of a sudden you're just playing all them songs on guitar. Because I learned guitar years ago when I was younger. So I had that skill, but it went away from me. I just, you know, didn't pick up guitar for years. You know, it wasn't.
Went off the drum.
I was playing football. And then, you know, then all of a sudden you're playing all the Oasis tunes on guitar.
Yeah.
Because, like, you can. And then, so I did music for Leaving Cert, which qualified me to go into a music course then after, which was class. But it's a funny story. Like, I wanted to just play guitar music, you know, play music, like did a bit of singing. So I actually thought the course I was going into was like more playing music.
That's what Gary. I remember Gary saying something.
Yeah, because Gary actually did the course that I thought I was going into.
Yeah.
You know, weird. So yeah.
And when you came out of college,
basically in college I learned just how to produce. Yeah.
And the first projects you fully recorded when you were out. Like,
this is a funny one. Yeah, when the last year, I think it was the second last year. You basically at the end of each year of college, you had a recording project. So you'd bring someone in and record them and do a production. You know, so for the end of third year and end of fourth year, I got Matthew Nolan.
Ah, right.
So that's how
that connection
the journey started there.
Very good.
Yeah, shout out to Matthew Nolan. He's a singer-songwriter from Drogheda who I've worked with since, you know.
We'll have an old chat about Matt.
Yeah. But basically I got him in to record and became good friends then, and then we worked on all his stuff after that. So he was the first person I worked with on a recording level, you know, after.
Yeah.
Still working with him now. And then so that was kind of like singer-songwriter, like
what year
guitar,
was that?
piano. That was finished college in 2008, so maybe 2016, 17, 18. Yeah. So a few years ago.
So you would have been, Jesus, you wouldn't have been far off then making Dazzy's album or Dazzy's EP, like.
Yeah. So that was. I
remember that would have been the first project I would have seen.
Yeah. I think because I was doing the course, and in the course it wasn't really like hip hop orientated or beats driven. You know, it was more like get a clean recording. Which is obviously set me up for a perfect like canvas, you know, to look at recording in that sort of space. So when I was recording Matt, that's what we were like focusing on, getting a good clean take and, you know, stuff like that. And then when I left college, I started getting into hip hop and just making beats.
Yeah.
You know, making a lot of beats. And Dara Christian, Daz is one of my good mates, like known him all my life. And he is a rapper.
Yeah.
Really good rapper. And so it was just a natural thing for us to come together and I was just like, here mate, I actually started making these beats. You know, I sent him a load of beats and he was like, bro, where have you been?
Yeah, I know, yeah.
You know?
That's the first thing. I remember chatting to Mikey in the coast one day, just Mikey.
Yeah.
And he says, I'm working with Fiona up the road. Because this is around the same time Dazzy came. I says, man, he's fucking some set, like some beats on, like you really like and everyone was saying, I was like, so I listened back and I was like the quality was there from the get-go. The quality was there straight from the get. Because you can always tell when, like, it's not like it's an amateur beat or something. Like you can tell when it's an amateur production. But like you play your music and it's like, no, this is fucking top end stuff. Like this is proper quality. Like this is there. But that's what it was. Like even with that, like go back and listen to Daz's compared to a couple of rappers mixtapes and all that sort of stuff, and you'll hear the interchange. Obviously, music progression, the quality of software and all that gets better, but like you can tell straight away, like the vibe you were on, you had it in your head, you had it in your hands, and you done it. Like it was deadly.
So that was the first major project I'd worked on, like as a project.
Yeah,
I like that was an EP, a five song EP.
Yeah,
that we had done over a few months, and it was gas. Dara was moving off to Canada, and he's still in Canada now. But it was kind of like a deadline, you know. We wanted to get this EP out before, and like do a few gigs maybe just before he left, kind of thing. You know what I mean? So had so much fun doing that, you know, and I just loved that doing that because first of all I was doing it with my mate.
Yeah, you had that connection.
But it was also that was the kind of music I was listening to at that time.
Yeah.
And third thing was the Irish music hip hop scene was like really, you know, thriving at that point.
Yeah, it was coming up, wasn't it?
It was like Kojak. I was listening to his album all the time.
The White Noise.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Delhi Daydreams, it's just...
White and the Delhi Daydreams, that's the one, yeah.
But, and then Mikey. And
then like, Mikey.
You know, I was like, hold on.
I'm still waiting on a Mikey album.
Oh, it's there, it's there.
Yeah, I'm still waiting. I know he has 2 mixtapes from years ago.
Yeah.
And I remember 1 or 2 of them, and like he's unreal at them. Like he's
Unreal Live too. I remember.
I
remember coming across the tent at Electric Picnic, and there's Mikey playing. And I was like, "This is fucking unreal." The whole band going and all. But then I was like, because we live in Laytown, Laytown, County Meath, and Dara lives in Laytown.
Yeah.
You live in Laytown.
Yeah.
Mikey lives in Laytown. There's loads of other people that are recorded that live in either Bettystown, Mornington, Drogheda.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is actually feasible. This is kind of a point where I was like, right, I could actually do this.
For a living.
Not for a for a living. But, you know, there is enough talent around here to like get a good catalogue together of like people and work with as many people as I could. You know what I mean? So, there was that Dara one, and that might not think it, but it actually opened a lot of doors in the hip hop. You know, I think people thought I was just, you know, with Matthew and a few other people doing acoustic stuff. But when we dropped that, a lot of people started getting on to me about, you know, doing rap albums and, you know, getting beats and stuff.
So I suppose rap went to Aaron J. So was he one of the people like how did that kind of connection? Because he was on Ireland's Got Talent, wasn't he? Was he a finalist on?
He got the final of Ireland's Got Talent, 2018, I think it was.
And then you done a track. You done a few tracks.
We did a track. We actually met through another friend, another lad I worked with called Uppbeat.
Uppbeat, yeah.
So he came after Aaron. I worked with Aaron after Uppbeat. Uppbeat was a great one because first of all, he's a lovely guy.
Yeah. He's from, am I saying Galway or Mayo?
He's from Mayo. Yeah.
Mayo.
Yeah. So there you go.
Yeah. So
going from around the country, but that was because my Instagram started popping off. I started putting beat videos, like of me making beats on Instagram.
I remember, 1 or 2 of them. Yeah.
And people started hitting me up then. And
so how did you meet Uppbeat then? Was it through Instagram or was it?
It was. He put up a story. I followed him on Instagram. Yeah. And he put up a story on just saying he was looking for beats, you know, email some beats to me. And I was like, yeah, why not? Yeah. You know what I mean? True. And he didn't actually use any of them beats, but he listened to the beats and was like, because my beats, like, they weren't conventional kind of like hip hop beats. Yeah. They were kind of a bit out there. And he was like, right, that's the direction I kind of want to go. Let's try to tailor it towards me. So then we started working constantly because he was living in Dublin at the time, so he just got the train down. But that's it. Like, we live in Laytown, the train's just there.
Up and down.
You know, perfect. So we started working, and we've released loads of tunes, and he has a massive project coming at the end of the year.
Hi-Vis?
Hi-Vis, yeah. He's already released 2 singles off it. One of them, Jellyfish, like, I there was a fella called Lane produced that, but I threw some guitar and did the extra production on it.
Yeah.
And it's probably one of my favourite songs that I've done with Uppbeat. And then the rest of the album is kind of similar vein. But
so is the album done? Or
still a few loose ends, yeah.
No, because I know one of my favourite tunes is probably one of the tunes I'm going to play at the end is one of his.
Yeah.
And it's the.
I don't give it away. Don't
give it away. But I just loved it. I love the original start of it and stuff like that.
Okay, right.
Where it kicks in, and I thought to myself, this is a tune. Like this is a proper vibe.
But with Uppbeat, he was like, do your thing. He let me just, be, F.O.B.
Yeah.
He just let me, like, he'd give me a reference and be like, right, I want the kind of sound and this vibe, but go mad. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I know that was like, that's all you could ask for really, is like creative freedom. You know what I mean? And the two of us were always like working together. It's great when you can just be in the same room as you know, working.
And he's gone on to work with, I remember 2020 John Gibbons.
Oh, John Gibbons, yeah, that was a big one. They actually recorded the vocals for that in my studio.
Deadly.
Yeah. So John was down. John, lovely fella.
Yeah.
John and his friend Colin. Yeah. So that was an amazing experience working with John Gibbons and lovely fellas. And then through Uppbeat, I got talking to Aaron J, the finalist of Ireland's Got Talent, and he's a great rapper, man. As soon as I put up the mic for him, it just sounded like a finished record. You know what I mean? Just the way his voice is. It's just whatever tone it is. There wasn't much I had to do with the voice. It was just like straight off. We made one tune. He came down to the studio and we made one tune. Or he kind of had a beat for one tune. We were just recorded vocals just to ease in.
Yeah.
And then I started playing piano. Just went over to the piano. Started playing these chords. And next of all, Burden came out.
Straight off.
So a song called Burden. Quality tune.
There's a big music video to that as well.
Yeah, the music video.
I remember seeing that. I thought to myself, that's a.
Shout out to Nathan Sheridan. He's the director of music video. Who's done Uppbeat's music videos. Another fella, Lucas, that I work with. He's done his videos. Like, if you ever need videos, go get Nathan. He is quality.
Deadly.
And then so we did Burden, and it's kind of it's an emotional song.
Yeah.
But that was actually 2020 at the start. That came out
February.
Yeah, I think
February.
You're right.
I think so.
Just before lockdown.
Yeah.
February. Yeah, because I think I got a notification not too long ago. About a year since it's been released, but that was just before lockdown, kinda, and it was gas because I had just started my own business at the start of 2020. What a year to start a business, obviously, with COVID and stuff. Like, I was like, fucking hell, they're getting air horn for COVID there.
John air horn for COVID, right here. Got the COVID.
We're a drinking game. How many times we gotta say COVID? But I started a business just before COVID. Brilliant timing. And Burden came out. So we haven't done anything since because just COVID. And he's out in Navan, so it didn't work with COVID and stuff. But I was really proud of that. And then from that, because he had a great following. From the talent show and all that, a lot of people started texting me, because I thought I was screwed because of lockdown, because like you were coming over recording all the time, people were always coming in and out of the gaff recording, and all of a sudden couldn't
do that. Yeah.
But then I was kind of like, there's a lot I could do online.
So this is how.
This is how. Like, I thought I was screwed. First few weeks of lockdown, I was like, "What am I doing?" I was making beats, building up a catalog and stuff. But then a lot of people started texting me, being like, "Oh, I actually have a mic at home."
Okay,
you know, yeah. I actually have a mic at home. Do you think you could do like an instrumental like this, and I'll put vocals on it, and then we can work on a tune that way? And that's the way it's been for the last year.
And who was the first one to do that now?
A fella called Killian.
All right, yeah.
Killian O'Brien, quality singer.
And how does that work? Like, so you obviously you have a chat on Zoom or some sort of video thing.
Yeah.
And you talk about what sort of song it's going to be, or one of you has vocals, or one of you has an instrumental, and then it comes together, or
mainly it's kind of like references, you know, like what's on Spotify and stuff. Just like kind of want a song like this, you know, Justin Bieber, want a song kind of like that kind of vibe or something like that. And I'd do up an instrumental. I did have a lot of instrumentals built up anyway that I could easily just send straight away. But if there was something more specific or tailored towards it, could do. And then I'd just send over the instrumental, and they'd either write a song around it or have a song kind of written and just tailor towards the beat. And then I get the vocals back, and then probably just change the production even more when the vocals are in.
Yeah. So what quality? I suppose what quality do the vocals have to be in? Like, obviously they're not recording. Obviously they're recording on a mic. They're not recording. So what work are you doing there in that case?
That's Because
I can imagine that's what's difficult. Like, I can imagine you have the music, the back and the track. Everything about the track is going to be sorted because you have full control over that. Yeah. But the difference could be, like, they could have a mic like this.
Yeah.
Which isn't probably a singing mic. It's more of just something to speak into.
Yeah.
Or they have. Are they recording it to a phone, or like
well, I've done done tracks for people who have recorded their vocals on a phone.
Yeah,
you know, it is a good bit of work for me, but like, make the most of a bad situation. You know, we're doing what we can.
Yeah.
In the situation, like, luckily now there's the technology there to, like, not if it's a bad take, but if there's like a bit of echo in the room, there is plugins there you can like tone down the echo and stuff like that, which is great. But like, I wouldn't be too concerned about that. What I'd be concerned about is, like, you know when we're working in the studio and we're recording vocals, and we're kind of vibing off. Oh, try this, try that now, and we're doing harmonies, and we're trying to work out the harmony, or we're doing backing vocals. You're like, oh, add another ooh there or something.
Yeah,
that's the stuff you miss.
The ooh, no.
You're like, oh no, play it. The two, you should watch the two of us in there on the piano going, I think it's that now.
Go for the ooh. I'm the 7 keys off, and you're going, like, what the fuck?
I'll just pitch it up.
Oh, fucking hell.
But that's what I mean, when people are recording there at home, they might just go one take through and go, oh yeah,
they think that's okay.
Yeah. Like, which sometimes it can be.
Yeah.
I do make the most of what they send me. But sometimes I go back and go, we just double that up, or something like that. And then it's just the vibe. Sometimes when you're working on a tune that you weren't there for making, I obviously like think of it from an artist point of view. If someone sent me an instrumental, like, sometimes you kind of want to be in the room.
Yeah.
When someone's making the instrumental, so not that like you want to know exactly what's going in it, but you're just there at the creative process. You know what I mean?
You were there. You're connected with it more.
Exactly.
And stuff like that,
you were there at its inception.
And what has been the most difficult track to make through the internet? And what is, I suppose, 2 questions, double part. What is the most difficult track, and what track has been released so far that we wouldn't, as people, like we as listeners, wouldn't know has been released on the internet?
Most difficult track, I don't know. I think with myself and Uppbeat, we always get there in the end, but since lockdown we found it very hard, because we just found it easier to just vibe in the studio, going like that. And we have met up since, and it's been just so much better than doing Zooms, or like, they do work, but it's just so much better being there in the vibe.
Because he uses a lot of electronics on his voice as well.
Yeah.
So I can imagine that's,
you have to kind of be there. If I'm making decisions like that, I kind of want someone on my shoulder going, oh yeah, that sounds cool. You know what I mean? Not I make the decision, you know, bounce it out, send it through email, you know, a day later he's listening to it, sends me his feedback to it, and then the kind of magic's kind of lost a bit. You know, that's not the way music should be really made.
Yeah.
In my opinion, like, it can be made, but I don't know. That's why I like that song "Happy We Did." You can kind of, or "Summer in the City." You can just tell it was made in a room where we were vibing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Jumping around the fucking thing at one point.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's you know, there's no specific song that's been the hardest. What was the second part? It was like,
what song have you recorded on the internet?
Yeah.
Like whoever you, and has been released so far in the past that we wouldn't really know and has been recorded on the internet, just for the sake of knowing that this can be done like this.
Yeah.
Like, this is the quality.
Well, think about it. I'll give you the best example, and it's probably a good segue to Matthew Nolan.
Yeah.
All his three, we have 3 songs on Spotify that are 1 million, have 1 million streams. Yeah.
Round of applause for that one. Another round of applause.
Yeah, no, I'm still gobsmacked there. I'm like, that is
What was that day like when he's? Like, I can imagine he'd seen it first and said So what was it like when you got that information? Because that's a massive deal. Like.
It's just like, because we were working so hard on it, and we were kind of like, what vibe would we go down? And I think we were just like working ourselves into the ground, you know, thinking about it too much.
Yeah.
And we've been working for years. Yeah. You know, I took a chance on him at the start to come in and record. He let me continue on recording. You know, he's probably had a load of offers from producers.
Yeah.
But I was his day one. You know what I mean? And I think it was just that journey. And when we finally got to 1 million, we always said, bro, when we get our first 1 million, it's gonna be fucking, you know,
class.
It's gonna be great. And when we got it, it was just amazing.
What song reached 1 million first?
It was called Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah. That's a funny one actually, because we were up in Windmill Lane doing a session, recording guitars for a song, and the engineer was just in the control room, and we had gone by this stage, and she was just, Matthew had asked her just to play, because there was this lovely grand piano in Windmill Lane. And he just goes, will you play C, G, A minor, F, just around?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just keep going around for about 3 minutes. And she was like, oh, all right. So she recorded that on this lovely piano, sent it to Matthew. Matthew wrote Maybe over it.
Deadly.
Sent it to me. I put strings, you know, like mixed it, put strings and stuff on it. There you go, 1 million.
That's
and the other 2 that are on, all the rest of the songs, apart from a few, have all been me going on the piano going, oh, that's a nice chord progression. I'll send that to Matthew.
Yeah.
So Matthew, like, right, wrote a song over that. Recorded his vocals at home. This relates to the question. You wouldn't know it was all just done through the internet.
Yeah.
He recorded his vocals at home, sent them back to me. I mixed them in, put some strings, you know, added the production around it, done on Spotify.
Straight off,
you know.
And
that's, I love working with Matthew in that sort of way. Obviously, it's kind of different now because he actually won a talent show.
The Little
Mix talent show, The Search.
BBC One, wasn't it? Yeah.
Massive
thing. Yeah, that was a massive thing. Yeah.
Kind of cut short a bit by COVID and stuff, but still got it done. And basically, the premise was they take individual singers and put them into a band.
Yeah.
And then the bands go battle it out to win. And basically, the prize was go on tour with Little Mix.
Exactly.
And obviously, that tour has been postponed. But Matthew won with his band since September. Which was amazing.
The name of the band.
The name of the band is called Since September.
Since September, yeah.
And Matthew, their band won.
Yeah.
And you know, I was so proud of him because, you know, he deserved it. You know, and he's going to go on tour with Little Mix. That's a lifetime experience.
That's a big thing. Like,
especially
he's from Drogheda.
He lives up the road in Drogheda.
Do you know, like that's a Drogheda lad. Like,
exactly.
Which is deadly.
Come from anywhere. Yeah. But I mean, like, obviously that's opened a few doors for us, you know, in terms of people you meet, and we were doing songwriting with a few people, a few cool people. But so all his most of his tunes has just been me at home making up the piano, or he'd have chords and be like, try this chord, try these chords. I think I have a song to it, and then we just bashed it out. And then at that time, we were just bashing out a load of songs.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, because this was before the talent show. We were just bashing out a load of songs, getting them all done. And now it's kind of different now because he's working with the band.
So he's in a band now. So does that mean?
Oh, we still have we're still working on loads
as Matthew Nolan. Is he? I suppose you can't answer the question, but like, do you reckon is he going to be releasing single projects like an album or on his own?
He definitely will in the future.
Point, yeah.
But I think the focus is on the band. Is on the band.
Well, yeah, it has to be. Yeah. And are they working on new music themselves?
Oh yeah. They've loads of music in the locker.
Happy days.
So can't give you any exclusives.
I'm not looking on there. I know crack. I'm not looking.
They're working away. Yeah, it's just about finding the right time.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, because summer's coming. It's a weird one as well. Like people are always like, summer's coming. You don't want to put out like a piano ballad for summer. You want to put out like a you want to put out like a feel good anthem. That's so they say.
Yeah,
but, it's all bollocks.
Yeah, you can put in. Is that the genre he wants? Like, because I know he does put out a lot of ballads. That's his kind of.
No, we are working on. We're experimenting. We're working on other types of stuff.
Because his voice does lend to ballads very well.
Yeah.
I'm actually curious in how his voice lends to like those other tunes.
Yes, there's some R&B songs that we've done, and there's some kind of like The Weeknd kind of 80s style vibes.
Yeah, I can see that.
We've done some of them. Yeah. But that's another thing we're kind of getting into as well. We're kind of writing songs. Sometimes they might not be Matthew Nolan songs. We might write a song
for someone else.
And shop it to someone else. You know what I mean, or someone else. Yeah, which is cool because you're not constrained then to like you can sing about what you want really, and then it gives me freedom on the production then to go do those 80s kind of like The Weeknd style vibes
on the chair,
which is cool. Yeah, but like, I don't know. You've a load of tunes on the go.
I have a few songs written. There's definitely a couple of tunes written.
So Joe's released Happy and Stardust.
This year I've released Happy and Stardust. So the idea was that, as regards myself, was music-wise, I wanted a big project. The big project will be happening this year because that's something that's just going to happen. I have decided that this year, because of what happened last year, this year is going to be my year.
Yeah.
Like in 2018, I had was it 2018 or 2017? But amongst those years, I had a good year as regards creating. Like I created Astronaut in 2017. I was consistently creating and I was working as a creative person, like an actor or something like that, along those lines. 2019, I had to take a break because I was just fucking completely drained. I think I'd done the show over in London, and then. Like London was fucking. The show went okay. Like, I got great feedback. I got reviewed well, but like you have to fill seats to make the money to sort out everything. Yeah. It didn't sell that well, and then we got robbed as well over there at the time. Yeah, that cost me. I got robbed. Yeah, got robbed in London. Yeah,
that
was a fucking disaster, man. It was. So we're over in, me and Emily, the director of Astronaut. We're over in London doing the False Theatre, Festival or whatever. An Astronaut was on. It was on from the end of January to a couple of days into February.
Yeah.
And I think it was the third night. The third night, we'd done the show and went over to the pub. And I'd left my bag. It was a bag she got me. It was the same bag I have. It's a Converse bag. And there was a MacBook in it. And it was all the notes and stuff like. I actually had a half a show written on a piece of paper in that bag as well. And we didn't need the MacBook. I don't know why I had it as a backup just in case the Mac in the theatre didn't work.
Okay.
And it was a lend, so it wasn't ours either.
Oh no.
And halfway through we were getting through the night. We had a few drinks. We were merry. Like, don't get me wrong, we were drunk enough, but like the bag was. It was in an arts pub, like, you know what I mean? We were sitting beside me, and I turned around for 1 second, and apparently when we looked at the camera, your man has been checking me out all night. The man had come in. He was no. Problem is, you could see him sitting down across the way, right? He hadn't a drink in front of him, just sitting there looking across at me,
right?
Looking at the bag, and when I turned away, he came over, put his jacket over the bag, stood up
Gone.
with the thing and walked out. Well, I was fucking livid.
Yeah, especially when you can see it back on the CCTV.
I was drunk. There'd be a man that night, the manager that night, like I had a few drinks in me, and I couldn't find my bag, and I asked the manager to find the thing, and he was like, it's probably gone. And I was looking at him like, you're going to get put through
yeah.
You don't tell me
Find
that.
my bag.
Yeah, right. I rang the police.
Yeah.
I started abusing the police, and I was drunk now, but I went fucking mad. And I do feel bad about that. Because obviously they're not going to, like the police ain't going to find a bag in the middle. There's people are getting murdered in London. They don't give a shit about a bag.
I know.
But I remember I had to come back. I had to sort out the bills for all the theatre because I was obviously the producer.
Yeah.
And I had to replace a MacBook. And at the same time, we were doing another show about 4 days later in Dublin. So I had to prepare for that as well. So I had to get another actor on board, sort the actor and that. And I had played a small part in it and all that. So like I think the end of February in 2019, acting in theatre, I was just like,
you were just done.
I was wrong off completely, mentally,
yeah.
physically, every way, shape or form.
Yeah.
And that's when I started coming. I was like, what do I like? What do I want to create? Where do I? And that's how music came about.
Yeah. I mean, it's as creatives, like getting burnout and doing too much. See, like if you think about that though, what you were doing there, like it wasn't really the creative side of it. You'd already created Astronaut.
I was performing it.
You're performing it. But all the logistics side of it, you just want someone else to do it.
Yeah,
you know
that's
what I mean?
you get to the point where you're doing that for so long, and that's the problem. That's the problem, I suppose, with a lot of theatre in this country as well. It's so expensive over here.
Yeah,
like I can understand. Like a lot of people in this country, a lot of artists are you're kind of nearly turned away by it because, like, the festivals are theatre festivals. I know they say they're fringe festivals, but the fringe theatre, like compared to the fringe theatre in England or Edinburgh or something like that, where it's a little bit more experimental, where there's a bit more chance taken on the people. Over here, it kind of has to be proven. Yeah. You kind of have to prove, because obviously it's such a small market, and the companies need to make them, and that's fair enough. You have to, like,
I know,
because it's such a small nation or small country, like.
Yeah, but even the grants system is just, it's fucked. Like, there was a music grant going there, last summer. I mean, it was in the middle of the pandemic and stuff, but there was a music grant going, and who gets the top fucking the top tier money was like $5,000 or so. I think $5,000 was the max, and it worked its way, or $10,000 or something, and it's worked its way down. So few artists I work with got like a small amount, which is great. Who got the fucking biggest grant? Picture this. And you're just sitting there thinking, hold on, they're signed to a major record label. Fucking, major record label that have all the money to do all this.
Shows,
they're first of all, they're applying for a grant.
They've done arenas. They're doing arenas.
Exactly, especially in Ireland.
In Ireland, they're doing arenas. Yeah.
Like, I don't mind them if they're fucking going for a grant in England, because they're not that big in England. But fucking hell, taking the money away from independent Irish artists.
Yeah, man.
It's fucking and I'd say it's the same in the theatre, and I know my mum's an artist as well.
Yeah,
she's the same whenever she's trying to get grants for things. It seems to always be the artists that are like at the top tier that get the fucking grants.
It does work like that in theatre, but I think with theatre,
they must just know how to put in an application.
Oh yeah, the application process is a pain in the hole. I remember they were going to close down one of the theatres in Dublin because, and it's a steady hall. Like it's a theatre. It's a theatre that's been there for years, and they were going to close it down because the application was kind of okay. But like, this is a theatre that, like, Dublin needs it. Like, I'm not going to say the name of it. But I remember thinking, like, have a bit of cop on. Like, this is a theatre that this city needs. It's in a prime place in Dublin. You can't close it down over it wasn't a bad application. It just wasn't like as strenuous as like every fucking detail of everything. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but like, just even like, people have to realize that the creative arts and stuff. People weren't able to go to any shows over the last year. Yeah, I'd say people are dying to go for a show. You know what I mean? It affects people's, how they're feeling and stuff.
Yeah.
A concert can really lift your mood. Going to see a play,
going out,
music, going out, it just really affects your mood. You know what
people
I mean?
in the musicians in pubs, like bars, like, do you know what I mean?
But that's like the industry was devastated. So the likes of that, when you're seeing when you're seeing things like that happen,
it's
like,
weird to take.
You know,
yeah,
you're like, support independent artists. You want more people creating.
Yeah,
you don't want to be giving all the money to people that are already at the top of their game.
I suppose the only way I don't know how to. The best way to think about that is I suppose I don't know the overheads and I don't know what the situation with that band. Like they could have signed a dodgy record deal.
Oh, I'm sure.
They could have signed possibly the worst record deal. No.
But it's gas. Like even the people you think are at the top of their game are still not. Yeah. But that's like, I think that's just.
That's how it is.
Like, you don't get. I don't know. It's a weird one to say, but you don't really get into the arts to make a lot of money. You know what I mean?
You don't.
You know, because like, you know, like there is jobs you can do within the industry that would pay well.
Yeah.
But I mean, at the end of the day, you know, you shouldn't really do anything for free, but you should always kind of get paid in some way.
Yeah.
It might not be a monetary payment, but like get paid with fucking, you know,
something,
equipment or you know, or something, or. But I mean, yeah,
it's a mad one. What are the prices like? So say you said you went to a windmill with Matt and all that sort of stuff. What are the prices like to go into places like that?
Yeah, well, that's probably what Picture Disc were probably paying for, you know.
Yeah, stuff like I can imagine.
Yeah, I mean, see, I think people have this thing about like going to studios and that, but as we were saying before, the technology's come on so much that like I can work from my bedroom.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like I have the setup in my bedroom.
Yeah,
and that's all I need, because I'm not. I see it's different for like if I was producing an indie band, you know what I mean? They'd need like their band. They need like drums, you know, a setup. They probably want to play live in a room and record that way, which the likes of Windmill Lane and all the studios, they have that space. They have that luxury. So there you're paying for space and paying for time. Like, but what I do with you, I do a lot of it on the computer. You know, we record the guitars and record the vocals. But I do a lot of the other stuff on the computer, which I think is like a modern sound. That's the way it's going. It's going all modern. That's just the way I see it. Anyway, like would I love to get a drummer in for every track I'm doing and fucking, you know, set up all the mics and stuff? I don't think I would. Yeah. No, unless it was like.
Unless it was already set up, like.
Unless it was like
you just brought the drummer in.
Yeah.
You know?
But then again, you're paying for like.
You're paying for something.
Paying for rent space and stuff like that. Obviously, down the line, I love my own proper space where you like have the studio. But I wouldn't have a drum kit in it because I don't need it. First of all, I do it on my laptop.
Yeah.
So coming back to your question is like, what people are paying for those type of spaces. You know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong. Being in a space where you can just go freely walk about. You know, while everyone's creating, you know what I mean? It's cool, you know, having the space. But I think it just depends on what your needs are. Yeah, I'm not really that type of producer where I'm like, you know, going in and recording drums or renting a big studio or anything like that. I don't think that's. I just work better on what I know.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
That was one of the things I was thinking, like on the space and walking around. I was like. This year, I'd love the idea. But you ever see songwriters and musicians, they all fuck off somewhere.
Yeah, like a songwriting camp kind of thing. Yeah.
Oh, that would be kick. Imagine that, like
that'd be unreal,
wouldn't it? Imagine loads of random, like in a gaff,
getting Airbnb down in the country or something.
But you know, like, because it's something like you don't have a stake. Like, it's not just a vacation. It's like it's something.
You're kind of working as well.
Yeah, but you're not working. You're working, but you're not working because you love it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
and it would be such such good crack, that sort of idea. Yeah, I've been thinking about that for years myself, because I know one of my cousin's partner, Conal Bailey. He's a musician. Been a musician for years. Has an album out and all, like Final Holes. And I remember one of the gifts I think he got one year was. They rented out a big house down the country, and all the musician friends, they went down and recorded. I talked to him about it. I recorded loads of tracks, and that was just like,
Yeah, but that's what I was saying about being in the same room with someone and vibing.
Yeah.
Or like few people vibing.
Imagine a house like, imagine going from one room and there's like a rap over there and then there's a ballad over there and then there's like fucking R&B and you're like, this is just fucking unreal.
I know, yeah.
This is just class.
Yeah. But that's what like being creative does to you. It puts you in that mood where you're like, fucking hell. And like someone else creating in front of you, you're kind of like get inspired.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You hear a melody, you hear a trick, you hear
like, you know what I mean? Yeah. And it might not be tailored toward that song. You might create your own song off it or something like that. Yeah, it's great. It's like watching a movie.
Yeah.
You like get so inspired by a movie. You're like, right, I could actually write a movie like that, or write a screenplay like that.
That happened to me with Jersey Schitt's Creek.
Yeah.
So Daniel Levy, the fellow who wrote that, there's a documentary about him, and he's telling me like, I just started writing this at a desk at home, and he shows the desk and it's like just looking out windows. I just started writing it, and then I started pitching it. And I thought to myself, that's, man, you just, like, as soon as you start saying that, I was like, it can be done, like, anything can be done. And you just straight and right, start writing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's mad.
So you're saying your mother is an artist?
Yeah, my mom is a...
So you come from an art, and like, there's a bit of artistry in there. What does your mom do?
There is. She paints, she mainly works with, like, silk. So she hand paints on silk.
Okay.
And like she makes like scarves, neck throws, pillows. She's done loads of stuff.
Yeah.
She works for a few high end fashion people that like she's kind of like in the background designing for them. She's a designer basically.
And is that something she's always done?
Yeah, she's done that all her life. Yeah, she went to NCAD years ago. She teaches in NCAD as well. In the National College, Art College in Dublin.
Up near Vicar Street? Is it
near
Vicar
it's
Street,
across the road from Vicar Street. It's a lovely spot.
Yeah.
So
open windows and stuff like that.
Yeah. It's a lovely spot. You walk around there and you're like, this is cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can tell why an art college is there.
Yeah. You definitely tell why an art college is there.
But I suppose a bit of creativity comes from my mum, but it was actually my dad who just blared music, constantly in the gaff. And
what sort of music?
He's a real kind of, prog rockhead.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, that kind of thing. But he also listens to some like acoustic music, which I love. Like I listen to those records today, and it just gets you real nostalgic about it. Yeah. And that's thing with music as well, it's like it brings you to a certain time and place, you know what I mean? But I think it was kind of good that like my dad played a bit of guitar and bass, and my mum didn't really play any instruments, but I think it was good that I wasn't forced to learn it, learn, like obviously it be great benefit me now, but I don't think I'd be doing music now if I was kind of forced at the start. Now, if it was something that was a chore, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you'd associate
I think I picked it up naturally, you know what I mean?
From what you've seen around you, your surroundings.
Yeah, or just listening to music and just like I did have a guitar. There was a guitar there. And you just pick it up, do a few lessons or whatever. But then I think it's all about like the music you listen to, the surroundings, and when I was talking to my mum and dad about going into music and stuff, like they were so supportive.
Yeah.
Didn't say
they championed you basically.
Yeah, exactly. That's all you can ask for.
That's what my focus was when I said I was going to be. Once I was going to acting, I was like, do it. Like,
but that's all you can ask for, you know. Like otherwise, I'd be fucking miserable doing something else.
Yeah, and you'd always kind of you probably wouldn't know as well.
Yeah.
Like if you didn't know. Yeah. That's how I always say. If I didn't know I liked acting, or I didn't know I liked performing, and I continued life and going into a job miserable, and I was miserable, but I didn't know what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, if I go into a normal job now, I'm not saying normal job, but if I go into a job and I'm saying miserable in a job, I know it's because I'm not doing acting. I know what I should be doing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Which is class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But and I was gonna say, I was like you do acting and you do singing.
Yeah.
And you do writing as well. Obviously with the book coming in.
Shout
out the book. Notions. Joe Wright book coming out.
Having notions.
But I think like I'm trying now not to limit myself just to being a creative in the music. You know, I want to try open up avenues like I was showing you my new logo there. Like I done that in Photoshop. You know, I wanted to do it myself, kind of in designing and stuff. And I've done a bit of acting in the past myself. I was in pantos and stuff. So, you know, I wouldn't like. I love just having a creative outlet. Yeah, you know what I mean? And it just so happens that music is mine.
Yeah. It's your kind of main one, but it's not something that you're going to limit yourself to.
Yeah, I wouldn't limit myself to it. You know, I'd love to do other things. I'd love to like get into. I know it's kind of music, but I'd love to do music for film or work on a film and do music scores scores and stuff.
That's cool.
Yeah, I'd love to get back into more acting and stuff. You know.
Well, you have a face for acting film. I'm not gonna hold it back.
If you're listening on Spotify, don't believe me.
No, you do. You've got to screen acting. The camera would pick you up well.
But and I think it's a weird one though. Like the two of us, like I think we both agree on this. Like with acting, as well as being not so much a musician but a music producer, mixer. It's like we're very young in our journey. You know, as in like. There obviously is people that have like excelled really early in their early 20s and stuff, but I think of like the lifespan of an actor is so long.
Yeah,
acting until you're fucking dead.
Till you're dead. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
like,
yeah. That's.
I'm thinking of like, fucking what's his name? Your man who did Harry Potter, who did Dumbledore.
Yeah.
Like,
I can't remember his name.
He did his biggest film when he was whatever age he was there.
Like the most
in his late 60s, 70s. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then there's so many actors that have just like...
Harrison Ford got on late, like Samuel L. got on late. Do you know, it's just...
Yeah. And if I thought of a music producer in my head, I think of some, 40-year-old guy, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's me, yeah.
You know what I mean?
What's his name? It does with the old rock producer has the big
Rick Rubin.
Rick Rubin.
If you think of Rick Rubin,
that's what I think.
You know,
of,
exactly.
Like him or Dr. Dre or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean? I think of those two.
Yeah, I mean, like, I wonder what age Rick Rubin was when he first did his first record or something, or first like hit record. You know, what I mean? Proper like made him. Like, obviously they were doing stuff throughout their life, like we all are. But that's what I mean. Like you don't have to pop straight away. It's probably better that you don't.
But because you don't learn it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like there's you, for instance, if you popped on your first track, you wouldn't have learned the necessary skills of like even talking with new people in a studio.
Yeah.
Because you just pop straight away. Do you know what I mean? Those things like if that kind of confidence you said at the start, where you're like, that didn't like that. Or
they don't teach you that in college as well.